Hi there, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today I'm going to do part 2 of my tour book collection. Pretty sure that I have most everything tour book wise, but if you watch my first part video, I was describing how there isn't really much in the way of a tour book. Well, there was no tour book for the Fleetwood Mac White album, and how some people, including myself, use a certain songbook in lieu of a tour book just because it's something that came out around the same time around the tour that consisted of a lot of photos that would have kind of compensated as would a tour book at the time. So next up after the tour books I showed, which were, well, the songbook for the White Album, the proper tour book for Rumors, and the proper tour book for Tusk. Next up would have been Stevie Nicks' 1981 Belladonna tour, of which there was no tour book, which is so unfortunate. I guess it kind of makes sense because just a 10 date tour, but it would have just been amazing if she just even kind of done like a little pamphlet or something like that. So many people consider the songbook for the Belladonna album to be kind of a quasi tour book because it also is loaded with a lot of photos, a lot of personal things that weren't on the Belladonna album or weren't seen in magazines. There's some great artwork in there, plus just the songbook. Fortunately, I cannot find mine. I'm not sure that I have it anymore. It could be that I'd gotten rid of it. I highly doubt it. Could be with my books, but I know I'm missing some books. So we're just going to have to go by the wayside on that one. And if I eventually do find it when I do my books, I will show it with the books. As it is, it ought to go with the books because it's not a tour book, but still, it's kind of something that, a lot of us collectors like to kind of stick in there in lieu of a tour book, which would bring me to Mirage. Again, Mirage, perfect time. Stevie's got photos. She's got so much going on for having come right off of Belladonna, right into Mirage, and all these great photos that came out of Mirage. Just there's so many great sessions and such. There's the video shoots, everything like that. I would really have thought that maybe they would have put something together for the tour, but they did not. So a lot of people will consider this songbook kind of a companion piece to or sort of like a tour book, even though it is a songbook. So properly, this is the songbook, the sheet music. But I kind of, when I show or talk about tour books, I kind of like to put this there because, again, we did not get one for the tour. This is the front cover and the back cover. Also, the Mirage and the Belladonna songbooks are kind of hard to get, again, because I think people kind of, well, they're collectible. There's some really cool photos in there, and plus people do kind of put them in with their tour books as kind of like a placeholder. So right off the bat, we have the contents for the Mirage songbook, but we get these amazing Hurrell shots, which this one is seen. This one of Stevie is often seen. This one of Lindsay is less often seen, unless you have this book, of course. Now, George Hurrell, which I'll get into, and I might have a little bit earlier, but George Hurrell was a very famous Hollywood photographer, a very famous photographer, obviously, but he took a lot of pictures of, if you can kind of imagine Rita Hayworth, Jean Harlow, anybody from that time frame in your head, a famous, beautiful, the black and white, beauty, number one actress in her heyday, photo shot it's used standard, you see on postcards, on posters, on movie screens, etc. Probably that shot was done by Hurrell, more than likely. There are several other photographers, amazing ones out there, don't misconstrue, but Hurrell was just really the master of the black and white photo, and so many iconic images were captured by him that we are just blessed to have all these photos. I would give it anything to see even more. There's so many out there by Hurrell, but these are what we have right now. So it was just such a blessing to get a book full. Again, this one's out a little bit lesser seen, but this one's kind of common. The Stevie one is probably the most seen because, it's the most, Stevie is usually the most sought after. This one is out there pretty well, as is this one. I have an original of this one, which is really nice. Then the wonderful, for the time frame, Mirage Penguin. It's French because, they recorded in France. So that's actually it for Mirage. You have the songbook, but I mean, those shots, those 8x10s in the very beginning, are just worth their price right there. I think they are anyway. It's a beautiful way to have those photos. It's a nice companion piece, like I said, to your collection. Whether you call it just a book, a songbook, if you can read music and you want the sheet music, it's really nice. But those 8x10s in there are just absolutely gorgeous photos to have of each individual band member. So, and then of course the cover artwork, which is also by him. So really nice piece. So off to what I consider the first. It's obviously not the first. We had the Mirage songbook. We had the Tusk. We had the Rumors. But for me, the first real, are you out of your freaking mind, tour book would be The Wild Heart. This thing is freaking gorgeous. It's incomparable. Listen, those pictures from Harrell are out of this world, but really just giving you the complete Stevie experience, whether you attended the show or you didn't. I remember giving this, and I just can't convey to you how often I poured over it as a young fan. And it still delights me to this day. It's beautiful photography. It's just so, it's 80s. It's so Wild Heart. It's so Stevie. It's the masterpiece of tour books for Stevie and Fleetwood Mac. None of them outdo this one. The back cover, which I'm just stupid for this photo as well. Opening page. These can be purchased. The Rumors tour book is a little pricey, obviously, because it's for Rumors. It's a little bit more obscure. It's older, a little bit harder to find. The Tusk one, I'd say actually all of them were pretty well found, and all of them were about maybe $20 to $40. It just depends. Sometimes people want $50, $100. I mean, to each their own. It belongs to them. They can list it online for whatever they want, whatever price. But about a fair price for any of these is about $40, I would say. This one can go for about 40. I got a slew of them. I got a large lot of them that smelled like they had come right off the printer. I mean, they were so pristinely mint copies. I saved one. I think I might still have a couple. I saved one because of the minty mintness of it, but like this one that I'm showing you right now, I'm 99% sure is mine. And I think the reason I have this one is because I just couldn't get rid of the one that I had for so many years. It had seen so much love, been looked through so often, but I just couldn't get rid of it because I've had it since I found it at Tower Records. So, and I begged my mom. It's like $30 or something. I mean, it's something ridiculous. Maybe not. but it seemed like it was really expensive because it was a tour book and it was at the store, and maybe it wasn't quite that much, but maybe like 15 or something like that. But in the day, like 83, 84, which is when I had found it, it was very expensive to purchase. So, but then I opened it up and all these pictures, I just lost my mind. I think that the US Festival has, this is what the picture inside is. There's a proper US Festival program that's glossy, and it has this picture in it. I have an US program I should have maybe put with this collection, but it's it's kind of something different. Maybe I'll find it for the next video. This is weird. It's cool, but it's weird. She just kind of looks like a praying mantis. Might be my only complaint. It's not a complaint. It's still really cool because it's the whole, the whole gossamer wings of the shawl with the lighting. But it's just because she's just so skinny and narrow, and it just always kind of tripped me out. Like, it took me a long time looking at it, going like, is that supposed to be her? Is the shawl up on something? It was just kind of funny. Such a great scene from the HBO Belladonna special. Getting the Snoopy. You know, you know. And that shot is just so beautiful live. Sorry. Here's the really good parts here. This is from the Stand Back Civil War video, the one she did before what we call the treadmill, which is where this picture is from as well. It's an outtake from that. I just forgot her name now. An assistant to Stevie. This is great. Rebecca Alvarez there. And then we have Sandy, Sharon, and Lori. And then we have the beautiful Mary Tory, Stevie Nicks, Robin, and I always forget her name. She's so pretty. John. How could I forget? Always forget her name. Stevie with her. Let's see here. What do we got here? I'm not sure who that is. But Stevie's brother Chris, Stevie's folks, Stevie and her brother. cannot remember her name either. Him, I'm not sure. 100% don't know. And then Stevie, obviously, Sharon and Lori, Stevie and Herbie. And if I'm not mistaken, these are photos from a photo, an outtake from Stevie's wedding, possibly. Seemed like that was afterwards, but that's a Jeremy. That's her name. I may be interesting to see if I put this video up or scrap it till I find her name and get it right, but probably not. I'll just correct myself in another video, or somebody will happily correct me, and I'm okay with that in the comments. Then this. Look at this. Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And if you have the poster of this, you know exactly what I mean, even more so. It's just gorgeous. Her work on this is just love it. Love it, love it, love it. That is, you know, there are two versions of this poster. There's the standard one, which, by the way, oftentimes, if you notice, if you have this poster in that kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a fancy paper, you may notice that you have a spot or two on them. And when I got my first one, I noticed there was a spot on it. Somebody's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's like an oil spot or something like that." You know, somebody had gotten on there. I've gotten others since, and I'm under the impression, and somebody else brought this up, so I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody else had mentioned it themselves, that in the printing process of them, I think a lot of them got like damage of it. Like I don't think all these posters are separately unique or individual, but I think that some of them had some spot damage here and there on them before they're taken to record stores. Maybe it's just me, but I've heard this from other people because I've seen other copies of the poster where there just happens to be a spot. The one that I first got had a spot like right about here, and it did look oil. It was kind of like a brownish kind of, it looked like oil, like properly like oil, but I've seen other ones where in the paper there's like black, there's like a purple, there's like a green. So it's almost like there is some spotting errors that were just, you know, I don't know how that would be because I don't think they were what you call silk screened, I guess, for posters back in the day. It could have been, but I have not seen, I've seen some that have nothing, but I've seen plenty of posters that have so much of the color scheme on there, the other spots, that just doesn't seem like a human error. It doesn't seem like somebody took a sip of coffee and something spilled on there or something like that. So that's just a theory, but yeah, I've noticed that. And so after a while, the one that I had, the one that I still have somewhere, I think it's storage, it's still in its frame. I'm not so sure that that is like a human error. I think it's a printing error because just the color of it looks like this, kind of like the sepia color. So, and then this artwork. I mean, this is really when, you know, probably the first time I was really truly introduced to Stevie's art and understanding. And then, of course, I found out right away about Sulamith. And, you know, she definitely talked about it, you know, well through, you know, with Rhiannon and, you know, in Tusk in the 1980 documentary. I'm pretty sure she talks about it. But just really getting a complete visual. First of all, knowing she does the hand tinting, and then having something like this in the tour book was just really such a treat, and you know, just made so many of us even more appreciative of her artsmanship. I don't even know if that's a word, but just what she's able to do creatively is it's just amazing. You know, and maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea either, but it's still artistic ability. It's something I don't have. it just, even just drawing that, even if it's not the most perfect face or like that, just a visual. Like, I don't have a brain to make visuals like that. Just even an attempt to draw a horse or a person or a pyramid or things like that. When I get in my scrapbooks, a lot of people, and I'm very, very blessed and very appreciative when people say how creative I am and how, I mean, I guess, I mean, I put papers together, I put textures, I put colors, I put, so I mean, I guess so. That's kind of an artistic thing, kind of, but I don't see it like that. To me, it's things like this, artwork. But even when I put in my scrapbook is artwork, how I lay the photos down, how I collage them and such. I just see it as, I want it to look nice. I want it to look nice when I look at it. I want it to look nice when other people see it. But, I guess there is a little bit of a kind of a craftsmanship to it. But when I saw Stevie's work like that, I just, I just love seeing any more artwork we could find of hers. And then this picture as well, just stunning. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I was never able to get this jacket. I did get the one that came out quite a few years later. It was very short lived. I just could not keep it, unfortunately. But wanting one of these and seeing, right into us, for the fan club or for the merchandise and stuff like that. I just can't convey to you how much I wanted one of those so desperately, so badly. So yeah, I'm going to keep this video kind of short because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the next video with, what was I saying about this? See if I can find either the Belladonna songbook, or I have another little piece that kind of goes with this also that I'm going to save, but I don't have it right here next to me. So I'm going to keep this video kind of short, and this one is just a great note to end on because this is a special piece. This is a really, really nice tour book, and I'm gonna show this one again because it's just beautiful. Look at the detail on that. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. We have plenty more to go. I'm pretty solid with the collection. I have almost every tour book. I'm 99% sure that I have. I have Rock a Little. I have. Oh, actually, I will show this. This is just kind of funny. This doesn't go with a tour book, but this is a tour itinerary that I received with when I told you I got all those Wild Heart tour books in such mint shape. This came with it, and this is somebody's. I don't know who it belongs to. There's no name inside, but there are names of who probably would have had this. It included what were their parts in this? But it's just a little calendar. It's just like a literal Xerox in an old folder, but it's super old. You can tell it is not remade. The little things to get in here are kind of rusty on the other side, so I've never taken it apart, never will. But just all the stops for the Wild Heart tour, and then there's a bunch of there's some real tour itineraries, and normally the tour itineraries are small books, like little kind of pocket books, because you want something small to be able to, reach for and have maybe put in your pocket because you're going in and out of the hotel room or loading the truck or what have you. This is unusual. I've never seen one, a full size like this, but these are, a lot of these people in this book seem to me, this might have belonged to somebody because the names that are in here with it says Stevie Nicks' crew, but there are particular people like the rigger, sound crew, lighting designer, not just Curry Grant, but other lighting crew, carpenter, Nick Store, trucking company, truck drivers, travel. So they're definitely the crew. There's nothing less important to them, but it's a little bit further out than, the direct stagehands. These are all the people that bring the stuff to the then stagehands who would, lots of names that we know, and definitely all is equally, vastly as important as, names that you might know a little bit better. But even though this is from 1983, I just don't really want to, put all of it up, give all of it away too much, because although I'm sure this information is old and absolutely invalid, nonetheless, but hotel list. But I will show you my favorite part of it. It's funny as hell to me. All of them, for example, had, what the heck was it? There was like, what day you're traveling, what hotel you're at, check in, and amenities for the hotel. And, we're in Salt Lake City, Utah, what venue, the promoter, contact, and everything like that. But here on May 26th, 1983, a Thursday, these individuals were staying at the Western Hotel, Salt Lake City, departed Salt Lake City, arrived in Nevada. They have their wake-up calls, meet in the lobby, set your watches back an hour because the time, everywhere you're at, come to hotel. I'm sorry, I guess they're staying, or maybe the band is staying at the Aladdin, because they're at the Western. But they're in Vegas, so your amenities, this is 1983, but if you look here, you have all this stuff here for your amenities, and then you have the all-important hookers. That's the only page. Only in Vegas you have hookers. And hey, everybody's got to earn, everybody's got to work, right? No smack on them, but I thought that was funny as hell. Because in every other city they're in, that's not an amenity. But they're in Vegas, so hookers is written down here as to what is obtainable in the nearby area. So I thought that was pretty damn funny. So there you have it. And you know what? That's pretty damn cool for the band, because, it's keeping it real. That's, hey, everybody's got needs. And, but when we were on Salt Lake City, well, obviously it's Salt Lake City, number one. There are no hookers. I'm sure there are, but, we're not going to mention that in Salt Lake City and other places. But I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, in Salt Lake City, there are no hookers. Yeah. So that's kind of funny to me, just to keep right there. But like I said, more of a schedule, more names, contacts, and stuff like that. Just it's always interesting. Tour itineraries are kind of a cool thing. It says part one, which I found interesting. I don't know what part two would be. Maybe part one of the tour. In part two, possibly. I would love to know. I would love to have the other piece. But yeah, this is just really cool. It's just kind of a unique piece of my collection. So I'll definitely end there. But yeah, next up we have like Rock a Little. We have both the American and European Tango on the Night, all sorts of stuff. So way more to go, plenty more to go. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you're able to see them okay. I can't say enough how difficult it's, the whole reason I really started this channel is because I wanted to show my records. It's easy to hold them up with the lights and everything like that, but when it comes to photo things and my scrapbooks, which I'm dying to show, which is really, really what I wanted to get this underway for, I just can't figure out what to do about the lighting, how best to hold them. I don't want to keep going like this, peeking around the corner. I would like to be able to just hold them to show you, because I want to tell you stories about the pictures, who took the photos, where they came from, people's lives that, touched mine, and part of their collections with mine. So I'd really rather hold it here than have it pop up and just my voice is over. It's very difficult for me, and I just haven't figured that out. So, but yeah, I want to start showing you more photo stuff, and so I bought the tour books. Some of them are kind of big, so they're going to get the glare, much like my photo books. but then some are kind of small, or like the the wild heart size ones where it's a little bit easier to view. So just bear with me. I just hope I'm still bringing content that you're interested in, that you're enjoying, and God, I've got just so much more. So thank you once again for joining me. I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.